Hey Nerd Herd Nomads, this is what we got. Went and talked to some people about getting some of the repairs done on the bus. And we pretty much are about 98% certain that the radiator fluid that's coming out of the dryer is actually because the brake air compressor, or the air brake compressor, whatever you want to call it, it has radiator fluid that goes through it. That's got a leak in it, so it's going to be replaced. But in order to get it there, we have to get two things done. That back end behind me, that's got to be closed in, riveted in for supports, and the transition. I have to get those two things done. We're also on a deadline. I only got a day or two left in October, and we want to go to the St. Augustine, really Palatka, Tiny Home Festival with the bus. So if you're going to be there, look for us, Nerd Herd Nomads. But in order to do that, I got to get all this stuff done, and I need the transition and the back end done at a minimum, because that's what's going to hold the bus still. Without those two, at least those two up there, the front and the back, we can't drive it on the road. So we're under the time crunch, because we're going to do that. Let's do the time. Oh, never mind, you get the idea. So anyway, let's go.
Power is important. No juice.
So we got here 9:02 a.m. And 9:30 realized that I had purchased, but we were out of the tips for the welding unit and the wire for our welding unit. We looked around here. I knew I'd bought them. We looked around here, couldn't find them, so we had to go get them. We ended up going to the closest Ace. They didn't have it. They don't have much welding stuff there. Another Ace, a little further away. Had a little bit more, but still not what we needed. Well, we ended up going all the way home. Yeah, get it. Searched the garage for it. Wasn't there. So I call back here, or send a text message back to my Alora nerd. And I go, look in the yellow bags, the tool bags. Yeah, look what she found. They were here. So our self-inflicted wound today was inflicted by me. A 3-hour delay trying to find this, which was right here where we needed it. So, sorry. It happens. Here we find a Laura nerd welding in the supports. The supports were bolted in, and now we got to weld all the pieces together. To make sure everything's nice and tight and strong.
It makes it much easier when there's wire in the machine.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
And that's my lovely wife, yes. That's Mama Nerd. Yeah, she's out doing the same thing. Yes.
I'm doing the backside.
Charlie? She speared the ground. Huh? Speared the ground.
Yeah, I got my foot too.
Stashed yourself?
Yeah.
Damn, Charlie. So, this is what we have. We decided to take a 10-foot piece of sheet metal and cut it the desired height we needed. That's on doing the measurements there. And then once we had it, we were just going to leave the whole thing 10 foot. We cut it, and then we bent it around the edges. Yeah. Here's the cutting. I love this tool. See that? The tool's awesome. Yes, it is. It just cuts through it like butter. Wow! I love this! It's steel spaghetti.
Wait, give me the steel spaghetti. I want to
Play with it. Oh, careful, sharp. Careful, sharp.
Yeah. We're looking at 91 and a quarter. It's about where the bend begins. Okay.
91 and a quarter is where it begins. We have to go a total of 120 we have to use up. He says 103 is the point where it's there. So 90, what is it, 91 and a quarter? There, so from 90 to 120, 20, that's 30. So 15 inches from each side. So 15 inches from each side is how far we come back. This is the inside of the curve. Not the outside, the inside.
We are the most disorganized, organized people. You have the two little...
I'm a lady. What can I say? Would you like a hand?
Okay. So I want one of your foot back here, and then I want the other foot to hold this. What I don't want it to do is move. Charlie and I are going to try to roll this. Okay, so you're going to may have to turn sideways so that your foot is kind of like that.
Hi, Mom.
That's why I needed two of you. Okay? Okay, Charlie? Took a piece of PVC pipe to kind of bend it and wrap it. The girls are standing up there holding it down, and then we're bending it to our best guess to get it around it. It worked okay. I don't have professional tools, so we got to do what we got to do. But it worked pretty good.
Our work here is done.
We did the hard part. We're gonna put one, it's gonna be longer than this here. Planting it, if you can, okay? Like this, you plant it to that. He's right there, okay? The other one, if it will work, you're gonna clamp it to this, but it's gonna go under this. Be under this, over this. Outside this, inside this. You understand what I'm saying? That piece of sheet metal is going to come inside this. Don't want to say it again. And then outside this. What part did I understand? This right here is the same as this. Oh, okay. That's good. Okay, so under this, which is the same as this, outside this, all the way around. Make sense? Okay. You're good.
Do you want me to mark it where it needs to be?
We don't have professional equipment, and we were doing our best guess. Sheet metal's not a skill we have. We actually ended up getting the bend too soon. Also, really important, everything is sharp when you're dealing with this stuff. And it's like trying to wrestle a spaghetti noodle into place that don't want to bend the way you want it to bend. So be careful, folks. Slide it up underneath that, and then we can bend this when it's up here. I'm not going to bend it all the way down. Make sense? So, this was plan B. We took the sheet metal up and placed the top, which matches, you see where Grandpa's hands are? If you go up about 20 inches where we raised it, those two bends match. So we took the top of our cut piece and basically matched it to the piece we could reach. And we took some clamps and tried to straighten it all out or bend it around that so it would be pretty close. This turned out to be a better idea than using the PVC because we weren't making the measurements right. Yeah, that quantum physics stuff kind of throws us off. And you can see us talking, and we just talking at each other. Sometimes it just looks like we all have our eyes glazed over. And then we slide it up. Trim off a little bit. The rivets are the right size, my klinkos are the wrong size. I ordered a bunch. It was like a kit that said, these are the most commonly used, and I'd never used them before. They're all the wrong size for what we're using. We're using some pretty solid, good size rivets. So we put it down, or we took it back down after we put it up there to try to trim it out. Our roof raise was about 1/8 of an inch off between the two sides, and so we had to trim it down. It couldn't have just, because we cut it straight across. So we also, there was a rain guard on the back, above the back door all the way across. That's what you can see, it's clamped down. So we decided to go ahead and pre-drill all the holes. And because I didn't have klinkos, you see what we're using? It's basically a fully threaded bolt, 1/4 inch bolt, and some wing nuts. And then we just put those on, because I didn't have klinkos. It basically works kind of like a klinko. I'm not going to say they're cheaper, I don't know. But I know that it takes a lot longer to use them. Go ahead. Wrong way. In the future, when you think you have it the right way, just go ahead and switch it. Yeah, my Alora nerd, she's a little directionally challenged. She would start turning it, and inevitably, every time she would turn it the wrong way. We're putting the wing nuts on those bolts. She's having to screw the bolt in. So we're continuing sheeting the back end. The back end, we decided to do the back end first because it gave us a lot of training, a lot of experience in the basic bend on either side and cutting. The tool you saw us using cutting like scissors. Fantastic tool. Get that. I bought a bunch of klinkos and long time ago. So I mean like 6-7 months ago. So I didn't really know what size to buy, so I just bought like a variety pack. We get out here with all these klinkos and none of them are the right size because we're using 1/4 inch rivets. So we ended up doing this. These are, it's just a bolt threaded all the way to the head and what's called a wing nut. And we're using these to work like klinkos. We take them, we screw them in, it holds it firm. We can drill the next hole, so forth and so on, all the way around. Okay? Yeah, and as you can tell, there's a little wave in it, so it's not exactly, we're not professionals. Duh. But, so we're using these. We bought 100 of each. And then as we're using them, when we need them to the other side, we just take some out and move them over. That's why you see like they start skipping a few. Now, over here, get up there without too much damage. You can see here, you can see where we did a lot of cutting in order to make room or to get the back end to release. And a lot of that cutting probably wasn't necessary, but again, we don't know what we're doing. We're nuking this out as we go. So we did wrap it around, and we didn't put it on the side here yet. And we let it go the whole full 10 feet all the way around, which brought it to about 1 foot on each side, about 9 inches really, on either side. And then we ran some of these now. Now, once we get it all to fit, and we're pretty happy with its fit, and we're pretty happy. We got to adjust this a little bit, maybe bend this up a little more so that's flat. Other than that, we're pretty content. My girls have been doing some welding on these things here. Not this one, but up forward, because we were working back there. Getting them permanently locked into place. So that's where we're at. Keep watching the Nerd Herds. Here we go. We got Grandpa Nerd. He's drilling it out, and we're putting on the wing nut bolts, or wing nuts in the bolts. And that's me inside. That's Papa Nerd. And then the upper right hand corner, what you got there is my beautiful wife. She is continuing to weld in the supports. Remember, we used a 1 inch square tubing and a piece of flat steel, and we used those so they would fit in the hat channel really well. And now we're welding them all together, so it becomes one big piece of metal basically. So, and that's how we're doing it. we just keep on doing it. Trucking, trucking, trucking. Been paying attention to all of our videos. What you rarely see is me welding. And that's because when we get to the work site, I go, who wants to do what? And my girls are welding hogs. They will not let me weld. So today I said, I want to do some welding. And
I pouted.
yes, they you did what?
I pouted.
She pouted, yeah. So I finally got to do some welding, and since I had it, I was like refusing to give it back. Yeah. Got the sheet metal the shape we wanted. We got the holes drilled. We brought it down, and now what we're doing is there's Mama Nerd. She is sanding it all down.
With P220 sandpaper.
Yep. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. Basically, I put some adhesive on there and it's a special adhesive. It's basically metal glue. I'm not sure I like it. It dried more like a thin set or like a.
And you can't get it off your hand.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to use that. I'm going to have to find a different product. Yeah, we're putting. Here's the rivets going in. This stuff was messy. That adhesive we used. I mean, don't get me wrong. It worked good. It was just messy, and that's probably just us.
We are kind of messy.
Yes. That is our rivet gun. Again, it was great. The only problems we had with the rivet gun for the most part is because one of my air fittings is a little loose. So we were losing air pressure. We had to doctor that a little bit later. But we're just like rivet and party. As we've always pointed out, everybody shares. We all take turns doing everything. But the only thing I haven't seen is Grandpa Nerd doing any welding. He doesn't seem to want to, so we're not going to make him. I mean, we just want him to have fun. But he does lots of other stuff. We can't seem to stop him. It's a really long day. And although you don't see a lot going on here, the reason is because it's getting dark. Yeah, so it's bedtime almost.
Nah. Go ahead.
Hey guys. Beautiful day today. Sunny all day for the most part. A little cloudy, which was good. Kept the sun off us for a little bit. No rain. So as you can see, we worked late. It's dark. And we're not equipped. I didn't bring out any of my lights to light us up at night. So, and we're tired. We just bait. So we're done for the day. This is our progress. That's riveted in. That's our rear end. We jacked it up 20 inches. We just riveted that in. Now, there's some fine tuning, obviously, to get done to it. Some of the rivets they popped off. You just got to nip those off, make it pretty, and all that kind of stuff. But we got it in. It's riveted in. We got one of them rivet machines that we'll show you doing this daylight. I'll show you that. Also some other stuff. Progress. Tiny House Show, Jacksonville. No, St. Augustine, south of it. St. Johns County Fairgrounds. Check it out. We're going to be there. We got a spot reserved already. We're going to bring it. So if you're in the area, come see us. Say hi. Tell us how crazy we are. And we should probably not do this because we're not professionals. So don't try this at home. At any rate, we're having lots of fun. We're exhausted. We're having fun. And I'd like to say, peace out, my nomies.